I'd appreciate that. You know
All right, it's all good.
Cool. All right, let me. We're gonna go back on there, talk about what we just played, and I'm gonna introduce you.
All right.
And we introduce ourselves like the De La way. So I am my B.
Okay. Word.
Cool. All right. So just think about that while I'm going through these joints. All right. Word up. We're back. It's our show right here, WPRK, Winter Park, Florida, 91.5 FM. All over the internet at itsourshow.net. And it's all over the internet because the homie, let me see, from the future, he's tuned in. What? The homie Nicholas Dalbeth, tuned in from New Zealand, son.
New Zealand.
He said Sunday morning where he's at.
What a better soundtrack for a Sunday morning.
Easy like just that.
Yeah, easy like that.
Easy just like that. That's how easy it is to tune into the show.
Yep.
All right, let me see here. Okay. Of course, instrumental in the background, we have some Nujabes. Always got some Nujabes on the show. Dude is amazing. The track is called Prayer. On the spiritual state.
Yeah, I like that. New Jabes.
New Jabes?
Yeah,
yes.
New Jabes.
Before that, we had the homie Divine Karama with the crazy joint. The 6 minute and 28 second long track.
Divine Karama.
Divine Karama. So you had food. But yeah.
Hello.
Divine Karama with It's Lit, but I Can't Find Light. Where he flipped he rhymed over the Umi Says, Most Def, and the Common Kingdom joint.
Yep.
Before that, we had JR and PH7 featuring Eric Biddens with Barriers. Before that, we had Darko the Super, produced by Blacker Cart. It's BLK, lowercase r, capital KRT.
Sure.
Yes. Called Please Listen. And before that, we had Positive Flow featuring Natasha Alexander with Kingdom, which you liked and you're probably not going to get.
Wrong.
Yes. And then before that, we had we had Wordsworth and Donnell Smokes.
I like that.
They got a new project called New Beginning. That track was called New Beginning.
Yeah, called Wordsworth in
Wordsworth
in Fort Lauderdale. He was hosting the BC1. Did an amazing job.
Nice. Yeah, he's the homie. Shout out to the dude. And we're talking some homegrown old Orlando hip hop with Midas the Beast with Listen.
Hey, I know that guy.
Yeah, I know that guy. I saw the guy last night.
What?
But we have another gentleman here. Let me pull up some joints. We have a special guest in the building. Not in the building, but virtually through the Google Hangouts. Let me pull up something up here real quick.
Virtually in the building.
Virtually in the building. Well, he's in his building. We're in our building.
Virtually
through the
in
internet.
a building.
Yeah, exactly. In a building somewhere. Even though you could probably do it from anywhere. You could probably do it outside.
I'm sure you could.
You probably could.
I'm sure
Technology is awesome.
It is. As long as you got a, Wi-Fi connection.
Wi-Fi. All right.
Wi-Fi. Hey.
So, all right, folks. Now, when this gentleman is not creating algorithms on his SP1200, he's quite possibly causing abrasions with his lo-fi fingers. Family.
Yes.
I would like to introduce you guys to Gensu Dean. Gensu, what's going on, fam?
Peace, everybody. What's going on?
How's everything going?
Oh man, everything is kinetic energy. It's staying in motion, maintaining.
Nice. So, thank you for taking the time out, and talking with us.
Oh man, it's an honor and a blessing. I appreciate you and what you do. It's a big thing, very important thing.
Yeah, I mean, well, we gotta get that music that you guys put out, the type of music, to bring this balance, to kind of, counteract all this other stuff that's going on. That's kind of push on the people.
Yes, sir.
So let's start off in the beginning. So your father, part of the army, right? You know what I'm saying?
Was, yes.
So,
close to 30 years.
Nice. Thank him for his service. You know what I'm saying? From us.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Now, so you traveled a lot, but you were born like literally in a interesting place.
Yeah. First, I am Gensu.
Oh, there you go.
I be Jedi Knight. Word.
Oh,
nice.
Word.
So yeah, you were born. The night started off in a pretty random place. Where was it?
Yeah. I got here physically in Kentucky, in Fort Knox, Kentucky.
Fort Knox.
in the fort?
In the fort.
What?
Fort Knox, Kentucky, where they house all of the U.S. gold.
I was about to ask if you put it in quotes. I was like, really? Do they really? Okay, cool. So now, so it started off in Kentucky. How long were you in Kentucky for? I know like military families move around a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I was probably right over a year, and then we moved to Germany, to Stuttgart, Germany.
Damn. Okay. So now how long were you in Germany for?
Germany, we did about 3 or 4 years, because any time in the military that you take your family with you, when they deploy you overseas, your stay is longer. So when my dad would travel, peace be upon him, when he would travel by himself, it would be like a 2-year stint. But when he brought the family, it would be like 4 years. So I think we was in Germany probably 4 years, maybe a little over 4 years, because we spent time in Stuttgart, and then we left Stuttgart and went to Frankfurt. And then we came back to the States. So it was probably like 4 years, a little over 4 years, something like that.
All right. And then I'm just trying to get like a chronological thing here. Yeah. So back from this, when you went back to the States, where'd you guys go?
We went back to Mississippi, which is where my parents are from. We spent a little time there, and then we went to back to Kentucky to Fort Campbell. Yeah, okay. Spent a lot of time in Fort Campbell.
Nice. So now, because that leads me to the question: what's your earliest memory of hip hop? What's your earliest hip hop memory?
It would have been Fort Campbell. My oldest sister was, she was at the age, hitting parties and stuff like that. And I remember her telling me about a Run DMC record called Hard Times. And, it was house party style back then. And so I just remember the title, like, being interesting, like who makes a song called Hard Times. And then I just got nosy and discovered breaking, and it was on and popping from there.
Literally, like you're getting your thing.
Oh yeah. It was crazy. I was a little kid, so I would have to like get permission to compete, to like battle. And so because I was a little kid in my crew, they just called me Kid Fresh. I had this ill fist spin, and then I would go from the fist spin to a windmill, and it would just shut down the whole thing, because the spectators would be like, look at this little kid. And then I would break out into that, and it was a wrap. Like, I was the secret weapon. They would hold me to the back, and if we was getting whooped, then they'd be like, yeah, go, the little secret weapon. I'd go out there and get busy, and it was a wrap. Yeah, I was kind of ill with that. It was kind of nice.
With the closing.
Oh, by the way, hold on. Let me. Wait, this thing rotates. Hold on. Let me. There we go. Go ahead.
No, what I'm saying is basically you the secret weapon. You were the closer of the group.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, they knew what they was doing. Having the, anything you have a little kid in, the people, the girls, they all gonna, oh, it's so cute. We will win every contest, and it was only 3 of us.
Dope.
Let me know if my speaker too loud, if it affects anything.
Yeah, you should be good, because I have the mixer here, and everything sounding pretty good right now. Right?
Oh, it's good to me.
We're good. Now, okay, so you came. What was the name of the crew, by the way? Kid Fresh.
I don't remember. Like, we were so raggedy and poor righteous with it. Like, in the Army back then, the outfit that they would wear to do PT, which is physical training, was these canary yellow sweatsuits. Like, they were real cheesy, and they had these bright cocaine white zippers. So we just kind of took that, and we would rock with that. It was so cheesy, but because they looked just fly on us, like, we had one guy that did the baby tick.
Okay,
right?
I'm sorry. Wait, what was that now? What was
the baby tick? Is like, how people tick like that, but his tick was like real small, so it looked like a real fast strobe light.
Yeah.
So he was ill. He would go out like it was just ill. And then we had a dude from South Carolina named Chopper. Okay, because his windmill was it was like a helicopter, and he was the only one on the entire Army base that could do it. So I mean, like, we would win everything, man. And then he taught me. So it was like, you got these 2 guys. Everybody could break and pop, and everybody was kind of fly. But then we would bust these windmills, and it was a wrap. It was over, like, because nobody could do it.
Nice.
So I don't remember, to answer your question, I don't remember the name. It was probably we probably didn't even have a name. We were so ghetto with our shit.
Nice. So now, okay, so from how long were you breaking for?
Let me see. That was for a while. Like, you know, breaking kind of phased out really fast. Like if you go back and study hip hop from a regional standpoint.
Okay. You broke up there.
May have lost his stream there.
Something. I was just getting into it too.
Yeah, man.
Oh man,
It's getting interesting.
Hopefully you get. Okay, you're back.
Okay, I'm back. Did I freak out? Okay. I don't know what you heard last, but
no, you're talking about breaking in the regional.
Yeah, being regional.
Yeah. Breaking started phasing out really, really quick because the rapping part was gaining such momentum and blowing up. So everybody was like, I'm not breaking no more. I'm about to do this rap stuff, excuse me. So so the breaking thing was kind of here, and then, you know, it kind of phased out. I do remember though, I was in Tennessee, I think I was in Tennessee when I saw Crush Groove and LL was on there. Like everybody was already Run DMC crazy by that time, and the Beastie Boys record. I remember License to Ill had came out, and it was like there was a couple records that was changing to be in grade school, and it was License to Ill, Raising Hell, Run DMC, and I remember hearing MC Shan came out shortly thereafter, and it was just real crazy. The rap thing was crazy. LL record had dropped. Def Jam was like really, really pushing that part of the culture forward, and so everybody was on that. I remember being in Tennessee, and that's when I started getting into the rhymes.
So then you went from b-boying to rhyming.
Yes, sir. And I did that for a long time.
So now, was it still Kid Fresh or?
Oh, nah. I think by that time it was Eddie D.
Eddie D. Where did? Because yeah, I know your real name. I don't know if you want to put it out there. But Eddie D.
No, yeah,
where'd that come from?
My honorable name is Eddie, and I go by my middle name, which is Dean.
Okay.
And so at the time, you know, it was just Eddie D. Like that, having a name and then like a letter was like that was the thing.
Like Schoolie D.
So, yeah, Schoolie D. It was all kinds of name. You know, your first name with a D or
Eric B.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I had moved away. The Kid Fresh thing was that was the breaking moment. And so I moved to rhyming, and I rhymed for years. That always stuck.
Okay.
And I backed off of the rhymes probably in the late 90s. I kind of backed off the rhymes.
So now, okay, so what were you rhyming over in the beginning?
I didn't really, I guess you can consider it pause tape type stuff. I know that sounds real cliche. Everybody says that and knowing damn well they weren't doing it. But like I literally would just take instrumentals that I could find. A lot of James Brown records didn't have instrumentals. A couple of my friends had like beatbox machines. They would program little things. And I do want to say this. I remember there's a kid named Eddie Butler. Eddie Butler. You guys still with me or no?
Yeah, we're good.
There's a cat named Eddie Butler. I think he's still getting busy. He was in Clarksville, Tennessee. He was a DJ Eddie B. And I remember going to his crib, and he was playing these breaks. And it was my first reality check that, oh man, like these cats are like using these old records to make these songs. Like, back then there was no YouTube, there was no whosample.com, it was none of that. Like you thought it was just they had a band or something. But really they was using these old records. And I remember that was my first time he was cutting some James Brown records, and I was like, yo, that's what they doing. Like that's crazy. And I grew up like most Black kids in that time. Their family was always playing some sort of music, and my pops was playing country, gospel, funk, the Motown sound, all of that. So I was always crazy about the beats. That was always there. But the rhyming thing kind of was in the forefront at that time.
Okay. All right. And so now so when you got up with Eddie B, was that like, damn, okay, maybe I can get into some producing? Like, was that the spark or?
Yeah, I mean, I was still rhyme crazy. You know what I'm saying? I still had something to say on the mic. But because the beat thing was always around, it just was kind of second nature. It wasn't until I moved to Texas, like my junior year of high school, that I started getting into the beats. My man Shaquan, peace to Shaquan, he was my DJ, and I remember getting writer's block. So he started writing.
Oh, okay.
He started writing. I started going heavier on the beats. And I was like, man, I kind of like this beat thing. I was still rhyme, but the beat thing was feeling real good. And then by the time I got in Japan, by the time I ended up in Japan, I was like real into the beats.
See, now you can't just casually just mention, oh, when I was in Japan, because that is a goal of mine to be able to go to Japan.
Oh, it's dope.
Why were you in Japan? And like maybe I can try and figure out a way for me to do the same thing, or what?
I was in the military. I was in the Navy. And because I wanted to have, I wanted to buy my own equipment. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to do my own thing. I didn't want to go to my parents, like, buy me this machine, buy me these records. Like, I wanted to do it on my own. And equipment at that time was very, very, very expensive. People don't realize that. You can't, now you can jump on eBay. You can get a 2000 XL for like $300.
Or now you can just download a program. And
Exactly. And get busy. And so back then, that you had to buy your own equipment. So trying to be responsible, I was like, I want to get my own cream up. And so I was in the Navy, and that's how I ended up in Japan. And so there is where I really started zeroing in on like records and breaks, like my own, like not just taking it from people's collection, my mom and my boy's aunt. And, I was bagging everybody's stuff at that time. But when I got out on my own, it was getting real serious. Excuse me. And so the beat thing got real serious.
So now you're digging in Japan, like, cause from what I understand, this was have some crazy, like some spots in Japan.
Yeah, I was in Okinawa, and so I would hit up Naha City a lot, and Naha City has some things, but kind of virgin when it comes to records back then, because I was still doing the $quarter, 50 cent, $2 records, and when I got to Japan, I went to scoop some Roy Ayers, and it was like $35. And I was like, whoa, 30, is this right? This is $35 for one record? Yeah. Like, it was crazy to me. It blew my mind. And so subsequently, I bought one record and I bagged the rest. Apology to that store. Activities of a youth, of a wild sailor. But I bought one and bagged the rest, man. And then I just chilled for a while until I got back to the States, which was Oakland. I was in Oakland. And that's probably when I became a junkie, a vinyl junkie.
With all the flea markets and all the records.
Oh, it was the most beautiful thing. It was insane. All my money went on records. I was in Berkeley like literally, I'd come home with a stack of records like this, a 12-pack of Heineken, and like $3. My whole check gone. Like it was crazy. And then I don't know if you've ever been to the Bay, but it's such a beautiful place aesthetically. You know what I'm saying? And so the vibe and the vibe of the people, and just discovering new sounds and new records. It was crazy, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, let's speak a little bit too.
The thing with the Bay is dope. You're right. It's beautiful, and you get to experience a lot of different cultures living in that area. As far as your digging experiences, what have you found as far as like your top joint, the one that you're like, all right, I found this, and I'm completely happy now that I have found this record?
Man, that has happened. That's a very good question, but that has happened so much. And the reason I say that is because when you become a junkie and you really get into this record thing, and when I say junkie, I'm referring to vinyl. Mm-hmm. your list of wants become extensive.
Yeah.
Because it's just like going to Chili's and they have the bottomless chips. There is no bottom to this record game, because I can put you on to something that you've never heard of before, and then you could put me on to something that it's just nonstop. So there have been several instances, but I will give you this one. I remember I heard the Beat Nuts joint off the books.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. Okay, it was crazy. Matter of fact, I want to say Banner, and big up to my brother David Banner.
Yeah, we'll talk about Banner a little bit later too.
I want to say Banner called me and asked me, did I hear that record? And he was talking about the drums. And I did some research and found out that it was a children's record they had looped up. And so I was like, oh, okay, so let me start checking out some children's records. Now remember, this is pre-YouTube, pre-whosampled.com and all that kind of stuff. So I'm out digging in one of my spots in Mississippi, and I pull this record. It's got these little kids on the front. I'm like, oh, okay, it's $1, it's $1. I'll grab that. And then I saw another record, kind of had some cartoonish kid type crayon stuff on the front. I grabbed that. I flipped that one over. It had some brothers on the back. I was like, oh, okay. It was the Joe Quarterman record. Mm. So the first record that I found that was $1 with the kid stuff was Stark Reality.
I don't like you right now.
Out of all the records in my collection, that's one of the ones that's the most dear to me, was Stark. But I didn't know what it was worth. I didn't know cats was looking for it. Like, I didn't know. I didn't really find out until like the 2000s when I moved to Dallas. And there was some cats in Dallas that was like, yo, do you have this? Do you have that? I was like, oh yeah, I got that. I got that in storage. They were like, what? You got what? So that's when I was like, oh, let me do some research. And then I realized that the record game, from a collector standpoint, had got real crazy. In Mississippi, we just kind of was in our own bubble, doing our own thing, man. Like, we weren't really, this is pre-internet, so we was kind of just doing our own thing. And so I had a lot of crazy records and didn't realize that from a collector standpoint, they have blew up. But I hope that answered your question. Stark and Joe Quarterman are probably like one of the ones that jumps out at me when I say, like, yo, I got that. I'm just elated.
Nice. And you paid like $2 for them. That's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah. That's crazy. And I actually ended up with three Stark Realities. I ended up with
really don't like you right now, because that one right there. That's it, man. A lot of people know about that.
Yeah, Stark is crazy. It's a real crazy record.
You got 3 copies of that. That's really dope.
I had 3. I sold one. I gave one to my brother Large as a gift, and then I kept the third one.
Again, now when you say Large, I don't know if people understand what Large. Are you talking about Extra P?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Large Professor?
Big up to Large Professor.
You just casually name dropping. Oh, it's Japan.
Casual with Japan.
I'm doing this here.
These Stark Reality
lessons.
Oh yeah, and then Large.
Those are blessings, brother. Please.
So, speaking of Large Professor, let's get into a joint that you have featuring Large Professor.
Yeah, the Forever joint.
Yeah, we're gonna play that now, and then behind the scenes, while it's playing over the airwaves, we're gonna talk about the track a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And about working with Large Professor.
Yes, sir.
But give me one random, like, Jeopardy style type fact about Forever featuring Large Professor. Something random. It could be the production, the writing, the recording, something.
This is kind of relevant. It's regarding the video. Is that cool?
No, anything that it may come up as a question on Jeopardy.
Okay, so we shot the video in Brownsville and
Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brownsville and Brooklyn. Part of it. And we had a good day. It was a good day of filming, and it was a wrap. As I'm literally getting on the plane, my phone is blowing up. It's the director. He's like, "Get off the plane! You gotta get off the plane." I'm like, what's going on? He was like, some kind of setting when we were moving from location to location. The camera in his bag, it had hit some sort of, some sort of knob and changed the settings on the video unbeknownst to everyone. And so we had to literally shoot the video all over again.
Damn.
So, but I was already on the plane. So I had to fly back to Dallas, turn around in 2 weeks, fly back. So Large had to get the same haircut. We literally had to do everything over. It was, but we were dedicated to making a statement with the video. So it was all good. But that was crazy. Get off the plane.
Wow.
All right, cool. So let's get into Forever by our special guest, Gensu Dean, featuring the amazing Large Professor. And behind the scenes, on the YouTube video, people will be able to check out later. We're going to find out some more information about him working with Large Professor.
Yes, sir.
All right, so once again, family, we got Gensu Dean on our show hanging out, you know what I'm saying? And let's get into it. And then we'll come back and talk about when you started getting like actually serious and then, getting up with Mellow Music Group and doing this like for a living.
Word.
Cool. All right, so let's get into this joint. Again, this is Forever by Gensu Dean featuring Large Professor. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's our show. We'll be right back. Feel free to hit us up, 407-646-2915. If you have a question, I've been totally ignoring the chat room.
No, we're good.
We're good. Okay, cool. If you have any questions in the chat room, it's ourshow.net. That is ITSOURSHOW.net. All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Be right back. Peace. All right, so I don't know if you'll be able to hear him though.
What's up?
I don't think you can hear him because I have the thing going through there.
No, that's cool.
Okay, so tell me how, because I know Large Professor is like an influence on you. I've seen that in a bunch of art. How did that come about? The whole track and everything.
I credit the way those chains connected to my brother Lord Jamar. After I did the record with Banner in '98-ish, somewhere around there, I kind of went just kind of underground. I was still creating, but I wasn't really working with. There were some independent groups like Big Up to the Ill Relatives. I was working at a Baton Rouge.
I know them. All right.
Yeah, I was doing some stuff with them. Those are my brothers. But and working with my man Yarbro, who y'all are going to hear a lot about in the future. But as far as anything nationally, I wasn't really doing anything until I did 2 or 3 records on Lord Jamar's 5% album. And so that was kind of my relaunch to releasing records on a national scale. And Jamar really, really bigged me up. Like I salute him. And the brother just really looked out, man. Like he really, really was plugging me, and that that kind of cosign thing, it goes a long way, especially with generals and veterans like the God Lord Jamar. Well, actually connecting with Large was through my man Oxygen. Big up to Oxygen and Soundside, his crew. Oxygen
like a radio show or something.
He had a radio show, yes, sir. And he's an incredible MC. He's an incredible vocalist. We've done some pretty dope records together too. But Big Ox connected me to Large, and just over time, man, we just got cool, and we had a lot in common. And he knew that I saluted him as a general and a master Jedi, a grand master Jedi, and yeah, man, like just on some brotherhood, type energy. We just connected. That's my man 50 Grand right there. And so when I got ready to do my my record Lo-Fi, I had to have him on it, and he honored me and blessed me, was like, yo, I'll do that. And we worked it out, man. And the last 2 records that I needed for the project was him and Banner. And they both came through, and it was a wrap.
No, that's dope. Nice. All right, we're about to come back. But hey, why the SP 1200?
The SP was it was a instrument that represented a certain era of hip hop, and it was a symbol. It was like a more like a symbol. And to me, when I looked at hip hop and its progression, people were turning their back, in my humble opinion, on that sound. People were more into features, like what can this program do? What can this machine do? Not as opposed to how does this machine sound? How will my records sound when I'm done? As opposed to, the program will chop it up for you. It'll cut the lawn. It'll make an omelet. Like, I'm not really concerned with what it can do as opposed to how it sounds. And so I wanted to take a machine that represented that era and create music that can compete sonically with today's times.
Nice.
And so that's all literally that simple.
Nice. So you literally want to put in the work into the beats.
Exactly.
That's dope. Nice. All right, once again, we're back on air, WPRK, Winter Park, Florida, 91.5 FM, and we have Gensu Dean. He's just dropping all types of knowledge. So that was dope. That last track, Forever, featuring Large Professor, was off of Lo-Fi Fingers, right?
Yes, sir.
So now, because is that your first, like, actual album, or do you have some other joints that,
Yeah, that is my first national international release that's mine. I've done records that have had that type of that type of commercial release, like the records with Banner that was on Penalty, Tommy Boy, and the stuff with Jamar that was on Baby Grand. But the record, Lo-Fi was mine. And I actually had Lo-Fi recorded before it went to Mellow.
Nice.
Before it was actually originally titled Standard Life.
Why was it called Standard Life?
Well, because I looked at it like this: the kind of music that I created on that record, it represented all of to me the standards of life as hip hop as I saw it. There was cuts, there was hard beats. There was dope rhymes. There was a little bit of singing with the sister from Europe on there. Like, to me, it just represented all of those things that make up the standard. And so, I just wanted to rock with that title. But we had a little issue with Standard Life Insurance, believe it or not. Yeah, crazy story. They literally, I think I could talk about this. They sent a letter saying that we're concerned with the magnitude of impact that this Ginsu Dean, and I'm not exaggerating.
Wow.
We're concerned with the magnitude of impact this Ginsu Dean record will have, and therefore you guys cannot use the title Standard Life. We don't want it to conflict with our customer base and what we do in our industry. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it.
Because I'm sure they have a huge hip hop base.
Exactly. Word, exactly. So subsequently, we changed the title, and it was titled what it should have been, Lo-Fi Fingers.
So tell me, so how did the Mellow connection happen then?
That stemmed, the actual connection came from a friend of mine, Spanky, Christopher Moss, who's part of a dope hip hop production crew called Divided Souls. Peace to Divided Souls, Brent and Chris Moss, Big Spank. They're really, really dope. They did some dope stuff with what's the cat out of Queens? I can't think of his name.
Like a million of them.
Yeah, I know, right?
Roger. His name.
They did some dope stuff with him, so just big up to them. But Chris is also an excellent writer, and he was writing some stuff for Mellow at the time,
like press releases.
Yes, exactly. And I told him about the record, and it was done. I sent him some snippets, and he was like, "Yo, man, you really should let Mellow check it out." But the thought of Mellow originally came from my like Hakim. The God told me, he was like, "Yo, man, you really should be checking out this label called Mellow Music." And he's like, they're gaining some momentum. They're doing some good stuff, and I think you'll be a good fit. So the God Hot actually put it in my head first, but Chris was the one who literally orchestrated it, and he let Mellow hear it, and man, the rest was history. They heard it and was like, "Yo, let's get busy. Let's do it.
That's dope. That's dope. So now, so because you said you did some stuff with Penalty Records, what was like that first check where you were like, huh, this could be all right?
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing is, man, like when I left the Bay, I had moved from Oakland to Mississippi. But right before I left, I was working with a group called the Elders. They were from New York. I think Allah Bay was from Brooklyn, and I want to say Just may have been from Queens. And they had actually got a deal. They got a deal with a record called Elan Records. They were a dance label out of Europe, but they had a San Francisco branch, and they wanted to get into hip hop. So they signed a local artist named, I think, Chunky or something like that. He was really hot locally. Locally, he was getting it popping. And then they wanted an East Coast sounding group, so they signed the Elders. And I did the whole album, the entire record. It was like 13 joints. And that check was going to be real crazy. But they wanted to just buy the beats. And I was like, nah, man, like, these are my guys. Like, I know the deal. Because if they just bought the beats, they can put produced by,
whoever,
producer, MC Shukalu or whatever, you know what I mean? So I wanted my credit. I wanted my, all the business side, right? So we worked it out, and they still advanced me a nice check. So that was like, ooh, this is real I like this, because they flew me out there to mix it.
Wait, to Europe?
No, back to San Fran.
Oh, okay. I said, wow, that's awesome.
Now, they flew me back out to San Fran, and we parlayed, and just the whole treatment was really dope, because like they was like, yo, this is the producer. And so it was like they was getting me Heineken and chicken fried rice, and like just the whole treatment was just real dope. And I was like, man, this producer, this is kind of what's popping right now. I like this. And unfortunately, some issues happened with the group, and they got dropped. And so the record, never came out. But man, that was some crazy stuff. That record would have been real crazy. But that was my first, to answer your question, that was the first kind of big check. The second was, with the banner and the Crooked Letters. Big up to Kamikaze too, from Crooked Letters. And that penalty thing, that check was, that was good. So now, okay, because you knew Banner and Kamikaze like way back then, right? Yeah, man, like demo days. Like me and Banner used to roll around in his uncle's red Mustang, and he would just be like, "Yo, put it in a beat tape," because he was ill on the beats too. Like
he still is,
yeah, he's crazy. Like, wait till y'all hear this new album, The God Box. It's nuts.
Like, we were just talking about the joint he did with the UGK, the Willie Hutch flip.
Yeah.
He did that, right? What's the name of that song? I Choose You.
Or International Players.
Or International Players. Did he do that?
I think he did. I don't know. I need to ask him that. I don't know if he did.
I remember.
I know he got records though. He got some dope joints.
Yeah, because we were just talking about last week how he like flipped that joint crazy. I think it's him because he was in the video with like the MPC in the car. So I just figured he produced the joint. You know what I'm saying?
I'll ask him tonight.
Ask him, because that was crazy. That was
he's dope, man. Like when I moved to Mississippi, like I went there on a mission, and I was still rhyming at the time. So I was working in this record store, and I would look at the customers. This is crazy. I would look at the customers to see what they would buy. And depending on what they would buy, I would step to them about my joint. So when people were buying Cuban links, I was like, oh yeah. Like, yo, I'm Shavu Dean. That's my righteous name. I'm Shavu Dean. Like, check out my joint, boom. And so it started to kind of get around. Like, you're some crazy kid with a weird name that work at the record store. Like, he got beats, he rhymes, and it started getting back to Banner. So I was hearing about him, he was hearing about me, and we had a beat, I call it a beat tennis. I think he set me up, by the way. And I was at this chick's crib, and I still didn't really know people, but I was at this sister's crib, and knock on the door, and it was him with like a couple of his crew.
And you're like, wait a minute.
Like, whoa. So that was my first time meeting him. He shows up at this, you know what I'm there for. So he shows up at the door with a crew, and before I know it, the whole apartment was packed. And so he was like, "Yo, you got any beats with you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I always, keep a beat tape." So he got up and put in the tape, played his joint. Of course, he's the hometown favorite. Everybody was going crazy. Then he took it out. Then I got up and put in my tape and played a beat, and everybody was like, "You know how people don't want to give it up?" But they was like, "Oh, wait a minute." Yo, we went back and like, I wish we had iPhones back then, yo. Like, man, that night, going back and forth, and even when he was playing his joints, I was like, yo, this dude is crazy. And he was saying the same thing. And like 2 days later, he showed up at my crib and was like, yo, man, we need to, like, I want to know you. I respect what you do. Let's get busy.
But first you were like, how do you know where I live?
Yeah, real creepy style. But, it was the South, man. Like, everybody kind of, Jackson, Mississippi was not that big. So it was all love. That's my brother, word.
That's dope. All right, word up. By the way, instrumental in the background. This is Ice Cold.
Oh, yeah.
To right now, off of Algorithms. Special guest.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Gensu Dean. All right, I want to get into another joint. Yo, so now speaking of Mellow Music Group, so now how does that work as far as like artists that are on Mellow Music Group and you getting beats to them? How does that, like, do you like here's a Dropbox folder and there's like a Ginsu Dean folder, like here's a bunch of beats, or are heads telling you like I got this album coming out, or
what you mean, like to work with artists that are on Mellow?
Yeah, like how does that work? Because I want to play this track with 730 and Homeboy Sandman.
Yeah, if I want, like my man YU, big up to YU. Big up to YU. Yeah, let me give him a shout out to Mellow.
Yeah.
Mellow, the Mellow roster, the team, Big Apollo, Odyssey, Big O.
We had Hoslo on the show like twice. One time with
Hoslo, that's my man, yo. Yeah. Hoslo is super ill, man. He's super dope dude, beats and lyrics. He's a good dude, man. So big up to him and just the whole crew, man. Red Pill, it's a lot. Like Mellow Music it's a lot of swordsmen on that label.
Yeah, we basically play pretty much everything that drops out. This Laranjan Cool Keith joint, that's really disgusting.
Yo,
that just dropped too, didn't it? I think the whole thing.
Yeah, we've been playing.
Laranjan's ill. He's ill. He's doing his thing. Like Mellow is some very unique but master swordsmen in their own lane, and so for what everybody does, they're grade A for what they do. And so yeah, I salute them, and on behalf of the label, I definitely want to thank y'all for pushing and playing the joints. Like, we really appreciate that. Does not go unnoticed.
Oh, I mean, we pretty much had almost all of the label on the show so far.
That's dope.
And then it's funny because 4th of July landed on a Saturday.
Right.
That only happens like once every 7 years. So what happened was we did an Independence Day.
Right.
We played independent labels. And of course, we had Mellow Music. We did like a whole block of Mellow Music joints on there.
That's dope. That's
dope. What I'm saying? So of course, we had you as the instrumental on there too.
Right.
So how's that work?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the situation. If somebody's working on an album, they'll, usually everybody kind of has their own entity, you know what I'm saying? They kind of have their own thing. The label is what kind of unites us, but everybody kind of has their own thing. When the brother YU was working on a joint, I may, fly him a couple things to see if it fits, or he's ill on the beats, you know what I'm saying? Yes. And then, Slim Cat is ill. Like, none of these cats need any help,
Yeah.
None of these cats need any help. Big O, Odyssey, he's ill. These people don't need help. They can rock on their own, but sometimes we'll fly things across to each other and see what can work and what's rocking. But it just kind of depends on the situation. Like with 730, that's my man, 50 grand. And so the young homie, he's from Mississippi also.
Yeah.
And, my man 5D, big up to him. He connected us, and so he had an idea, and I flew him some joints. His wife was like, "You should have Dean do this whole record." And then boom, we knocked it out.
It was called The Problem, right? I think that whole album.
Yeah, yes, sir. The Problem.
Nice, nice. Yeah, because I want to play this track. Ramses is.
Oh yeah, that Ramses with
Homeboy Sandman. Yeah,
big up to Homeboy Sandman. That's he's super ill. He's one of my favorite MCs. Period.
He's been on the show like twice so far, I think.
Yeah, he's incredible.
He's
on the show.
Dude. Yeah, yeah, and he's tall as hell too, right?
Yeah. He's
on the planet.
Or some shit.
All right, so let's get into it. This is Ramses, Gensu Dean featuring 730 and Homeboy Sandman. So now, give me a random Jeopardy style fact about this joint here.
This one cut and dry, man. Like a good question, I guess, and nobody would really know this, is what was the record originally? What machine was it originally done on?
Okay.
No one would know that, but it was originally done on the 3000. The MPC.
Oh, so you cheated on the SP?
I did it on the 3000, and I didn't like it. It was the 3000 took away from the grittiness, and the record to me needed to be gritty, especially because of the sample. And so I redid it on the SP, and I was just trying something,
You're like, I don't like this. I'm gonna go back to this.
Oh yeah. It's really hard. It was really hard to pull away from my love, the SP. She's very, very jealous woman. It was very hard to touch anything else but her.
All right, word up. So let's get into this joint. Gensu Dean featuring 730 and the Homeboy Sandman. It's called Ramses.
Yes, sir.
And we'll talk off air about some other stuff, and we're gonna get into it. So thank you guys for tuning in. It's our show right here, WPRK, Winter Park, Florida, 91.5 FM. And yeah, let's get into it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be right back. Y'all be easy. Peace. Did you have any questions, or did you have any questions or anything? Just feel free to jump in.
No, go ahead, man.
No, he can ask. I can still hear him.
Oh, okay. But so yeah, so now how does this actually work as far as like, do you guys have like a secret Facebook group, or is there, like I said, a Dropbox? How do you guys, I mean, is there like a master list, email list? How do you know who's doing what? Because there's a lot of stuff going on in Mellow.
Yeah. It's if I'm understanding your question correctly, everybody kind of just does their own thing. Like,
but how do you get like a beat? Like, how does the abrasions with Planet Asia come about? Like, how did that happen?
Okay, bust it. So right when I turned in Lo-Fi, Mike from the label was like, okay, yo, what's next? What we gonna do next? He was like, I want you to work with like one cat. He's like, I really want to hear you, because like, when you do a compilation, you are the common denominator. But when you're working with like one MC, one producer, or one group, one producer, you really can create a very cohesive work.
Yeah, I mean, like Gangstar, Eric B. Rakim, like, yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I'm really into. I'm really, really, really into that. And so I've always been a fan of Planet Asia. He's one of my favorite MCs. He's super incredible. Definitely a Jedi master with his sword. And I hit him up, and he had saw the video with Large. And when he saw a clip on there with me on the SP, he was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, it was no question. And then, we embrace a similar philosophy and ideology. And so, we qualified each other, and it was a wrap. Like, that's my brother. Like, it was no problem getting busy. He's a very thorough MC. Like, when it comes to working, like, yo, Planet Asia can write, 5 or 6 albums in a few months. Like, he's a monster.
I mean, he's a good dude, because he did a project with one of my people, Azarism.
Oh yeah.
Satellite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like you said, like I don't know how he does it. Like the man, for days he should get this right. I don't think he's ever had writer's block in his life. No, and he's nonstop. It's a nonstop train. Like, he's gonna stay working, and I just support him endlessly. Him and his crew. Big up to PA and Tri-State, Killer Ben, Killer Cali. They're ill. Yeah, definitely.
It's serious business.
So now tell me about, how did the flip come with with Guilty Simpson then.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so before I did the record with Asia, I wanted to work with Guilty. So my man from the label was like, nah, you can't, you know, Apollo is wrapping up a project with Guilty. I was like, oh. So I was like, oh, well, you know, let me keep searching. And then that's when the Asia thing was born. Well, there was a time when Apollo was wrapping up some projects. He was like, yo, I want to work with Planet Asia next. He was like, you can't do that. You know, Dean he's, you know, 6 tracks deep, you know. So the idea was birthed, okay, at some point, why don't you take some songs from Dice Game and show me how, you know, what your approach will be to Dice Game, and I'm gonna have Apollo do the same. I was like, yo, that's beautiful. Let's do it. And Apollo was with it, I was with it. And so, you know, we picked out some joints and we just showed what our approach would be if we were to do those records. And you know, it came out really, really, really dope. And I want to say that they was gonna release, they was gonna put it on vinyl. Like one side would be Apollo and one side would be Gensu, which would have been crazy because I don't think in hip hop history a label has ever done that. You know, a label that has 2 producers, dope producers, take projects that they both reinterpreted and put it on the, like, that would have been crazy.
That would have been nuts, yeah.
So all your listeners, man, y'all go on Twitter, go on Facebook, and nag the crap out of Mellow and tell them, yo, do that. Because I want to say that was on the table at one point to do.
Nice. All right, so oh, by the way, we're back on air, 91.5 FM, WPRK, Orlando, Florida, worldwide.
Yes, sir.
At it'sourshow.net. Anybody say anything real quick, or everybody just kind of tuning and listening?
Everybody's kind of tuning in and listening right now.
All right, so that last track, of course, Ginsu Dean featuring 730 and Homeboy Sandman, Ramses. Right now you're listening to Nothing Like It, also by Gensu Dean, off Algorithms. Word. So tell me about this project, Algorithms. Well,
yo,
that's a project, right?
No, sir. No, sir.
Oh, wait, what?
You know, I didn't make an announcement or a big deal. I just thought it would have been corny, but I transitioned from the SP. I finally, you know, got a divorce.
Was it amicable though? Was it amicable?
Yeah, she was. I mean, you know,
did she take half?
She may come around. You know, she may come around in the future. You know, maybe some little rendezvous in the future. But yeah, I cut her loose, and so I started rocking with the 3000. So I wanted to keep it still kind of vintage. The 3000 has a very unique, warm sound, but then it's kind of clean. I coined this new term called clean dirt, where it's kind of clean, but it's still kind of dirty. But you know, sonically, it's a little bit more digestible. So yeah, so Algorithms was, you know, with 3.
Nice. Oh damn. Okay. And nice.
Algorithms was crazy, man. To answer your question, I was moving from Dallas to Austin. I'm in Austin now.
Oh, word, dope. Okay.
Yeah, Austin is really dope. And so I was moving, and in the process of moving, I was boxing up all my records, which was, you know, hell. At that time, I had a little over 8,000 records, and that's not the 45s. That's just the vinyl.
Wow.
That's just these. You know what I'm saying? That's just these. So, I would come across stuff. You know, oh, what is this? You know, and I would listen to it, and I would cut the 3 on, and then just chop it up. And I would literally. This is what nobody knows this, because I don't think they put this in the write-up. But every beat on Algorithms is played live. Okay. Like I didn't sequence any of that. Like I hit record and literally was playing it live. Stopped record and then deleted it out of the machine. None of those beats are saved. It was all touch and feel. It was all, I'm cleaning up my room or cleaning up the crib. I heard something. I go chop it up real quick, play it, record it, delete it, and keep it moving. And one day I went into that folder and it was like 17 joints. I was like, oh man, this is kind of so I started listening to all of them, and I was able to identify and focus the spirit of what was going on. And so I just kept doing it. And So yeah, algorithms came from me moving and discovering stuff that I already had in my collection. Like, well, what is this? Or I may have had a tag on it, and what is this for? And play it like, oh, like, so it was just really crazy, man. Like I really love that record, and I wanted to give it away to the people. Like I wanted them to see that musical experience that I was on at the time.
Nice. That's dope. That's amazing when you could. It's like that's dope in hip hop. Like you can have something for a long time, put it away, come back, and it's like it's brand new again.
Exactly. Which I want to say this about switching from the SP to the 3. When I switched from the 2000 to the SP, because as a producer, sonically, I walked backwards. Like most producers move forward with the technology, but I at one point went backwards. So I went from the EPS to the ASR 10, the MPC 2000 to the MPC 60 to the SP 12 to the SP 1200. See, I started walking backwards.
Yeah.
Because that sound, it was something about that sound that the newer technology was missing.
It became like too digital, like too many ones and O's.
It was coming really thin. You know, sonically it may have been big and beautiful, but the warmth and the passion which was found in the warmth was missing. And so I went backwards. But when I switched to the SP, you only got 10 seconds of sample time. So it caused me to listen to my records differently, which was like getting a whole new record collection all over again, because you have to listen with a more critical ear. Well, switching from the SP to the 3000 is like repeating that process. It's like getting a whole new record collection, because now when I would go, ooh, I want to use that, but this part is doper. Now I can go, I want to use that, so I'm going to use it. You know, because there's no limitation on time. And so, yeah, it's you know, it's an amazing journey. And I cannot wait for people to hear the new stuff that I'm on, because algorithms is that's just one chamber. Like there's a whole nother, I can't wait for y'all.
So let's talk about this new stuff. I wanted to get into what's up next.
Right now, I am probably from an album with this MC who's super dope dude, man, and he's a good dude, man. Like, and this is my man, right? Oh no, I can't give it away. look, Mellow be calling me now, like, yo, we're gonna make an announcement soon. I think they want to wait until at least I get to the mixing stage or maybe the mastering stage, and then we may start dropping little nuggets about what's going on. But I will give y'all a jewel.
Nice.
From Detroit. That's all I'll say. He's from Detroit. And the record is crazy. It's crazy. I'm really excited. And then I'm working on a compilation. You know, Mellow put out Persona.
Yeah.
Which is a comp, and big up to Mike from the label. He tries to put out a record a year like that. That's his vision, and I just think that's dope. And a lot of us get together and support him and put together, you know, beats or whatever, and get busy on his behalf. And he kind of orchestrates it as a mastermind behind it. But because I was in the process of moving and dealing with some things with my father, peace be upon him, I didn't submit anything for Persona. So I'm working on a comp, which is like my interpretation of Persona. So I'm getting a lot of the MCs and artists from Mellow, and then I'm gonna sprinkle it with a few, you know, associates and outside cats, and I'm wrapping that up, and that's crazy too.
Oh, that's dope. Well, you know where to send joints if you want to leak something.
Yeah, no doubt.
Don't leak some of your own stuff, you know. Right here.
Yeah, I take care of you. And then I got one more instrumental that I did. I actually finished that when I did Abrasions, but it's a little bit more. Not Abrasions. I'm sorry, Algorithms. This instrumental record is a little bit more kick, snare, hi-hat. You know, it's a little bit more beat driven. Algorithms was more like little musical moments, you know, ill loops, chops,
kind of crazy skits and stuff.
Yeah, crazy, weird skits. It's kind of something you can just put in the car and ride. You know, it's not really driven toward rappers. It's not really like a beat tape type instrumental, which I didn't want to do. But this other one that I did, it's a little bit more beat driven, a little bit more beat heavy. And it's crazy. I really like that too. But that may come out a little later.
Nice, nice. All right, so you have anything on Show Short you want to say?
I'm just enjoying this conversation, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's DJ Short Shot. He's like a world famous DJ and b-boy DJ. You know what I'm saying?
Just regular dude.
That's what's up.
All right, cool. Well, thank you, fam. You know what I'm saying? I know you got mad beats to go make and things, and thank you for taking the time out, you know what I'm saying, to talk with us.
The honor and the pleasure is mine, brother. Like, I really appreciate that. Like I said early on, it's very important what you guys are doing. Very, very important to those listeners and viewers. Y'all need to make sure y'all support this kind of stuff, because you will look up one day and these type of outlets will be gone. And so you do not want to take advantage or, oh, I'll check the show out later. Like, don't be like that. Like, this type of stuff that they're doing, even locally, because I noticed that you all always keep an element of the local artists involved, which is beautiful. Like, make sure them guys give that love back. And you know, any kind of drives you guys have or any kind of shows y'all put on, make sure the people come out and support that. It's extremely important. So I salute you all.
Thank you, fam. Thank you. I mean, it's crazy because we got people in Alaska tuned in. We've got New Zealand tuned in. Like, it's tomorrow in New Zealand tuned in, listening right now. It's crazy.
Big up to New Zealand. Y'all gonna be coming across the pond soon too. So y'all make sure y'all take me to the record spots and, you know, get me right when I come over there.
Nice. So how can people find you online if they want to reach out to you and get you right?
Yeah, I'm you know, hit me on you know, it's the standard stuff, man. The times we live in now, it's Twitter, Facebook. I think Twitter is Gensu Dean and Facebook is the same. I think Instagram is the real Gensu Dean. Bandcamp is through Mellow. You can go to Mellow and, like, you know, mellowmusicbandcamp.com has you know, pretty much everything that I've done through the label. And so, yeah, you know, if people want to come out and support, you know, iTunes, Fat Beats, undergroundhiphop.com, you know, we got to salute and support all of them too, because they are the outlet for, as far as purchase is concerned, for our customer base and the people that support us. Like, y'all got to take care of them websites, man. Or they'll end up being like the record stores, closing down.
Right, and then you have no place to dig.
Exactly. I'll go. Then this interview will then be taking place in a mental home somewhere. Spray jacket, itching and scratching.
All right. So we start off with a legend. Let's end with another group of legends. Let's end off the track "In My Head" featuring Grand Nubian.
Yeah, peace to the gods.
So tell me a random. Besides, like, did they glow in the studio? Like, how does that? I'm just imagining, like, these dudes get together and it's like, oh, I mean,
yeah. Well, you know, like with most of these records, it's not like how it used to be, where you had the artist and producer in the lab vibing and then creating. A lot of times it's this, you know, send the beat through the net and then get it back and then boom. But for me, I connect with these cats on the phone and we end up talking about, like, life experience and stuff like that. And excuse me, all of that is important. And I'm still a fan. I don't believe you can be an effective painter, photographer, DJ, producer, breaker, anything, teacher, professor, if you're still not in love with the career path that you're on. I was digging with Large, and it's hard for me to focus because I'm saying to myself, I'm digging with Large Professor. I was in high school trying to be him, and now he's a peer, he's my brother, and we're digging together. Same with the gods, Brand Nubian, you know, and it's like, or OC, you know, or whoever. It's like you have to remain a fan, and so I don't know. It's just super sonically important to still be in love and still keep yourself a fan of what you do, because that also enables me to appreciate Apollo. I don't see Apollo as a competition. I don't see Marco Polo or Kev Brown, my brother. Big up to Kev Brown, peace to him. even Banner, who's still a beast on the mic and on the beats. Like, I don't see him as a threat or competition. Like, that's my man, and I'm still a fan of the music. I can appreciate his skill and what he brings to the table. And I just think that's an important factor as an individual and a producer to maintain.
Nice. Well, fam, thank you very much.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
This is awesome. So yeah, this is gonna be up on YouTube. Technology, like this whole thing's gonna be on YouTube in like 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be awesome. What's up?
I'm sorry, I didn't answer your question. Do they glow? Probably do, but I know Jamar. At the time, Jamar had he had his own lab that he worked in, and brother Dot, he has a few labs that he can work in, and so I'm sure it was done kind of like that, because actually the record was just Jamar, and Jamar played it, and so Dot was like, oh, please let me get on that. And so we worked it out and let the God jump on there, and he spit his thing and did his thing on there. So yeah, it's dope. But to be in the studio with them probably is a life-changing experience. I just hadn't had that yet. We just talk on phone.
You know what? That's more than pretty much anybody that we know has had.
Yeah,
so much. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. All right, so fam, thank you again. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you,
I'm gonna send you the links to all the videos and all that stuff and everything. And
yes, sir. That's dope.
All right, so thank you again. So we're gonna get into this joint. This is In My Head, Gensu Dean featuring Brand Nubian. And peace, fam. And gotta get up again. You know what I'm saying? We got some new joints anytime.
Yeah, stay connected. Yes, sir.
Nice. All right, fam.
All right, y'all.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was nice.
What a good conversation, man. A lot of